Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Naomi. When I say the term self-care, what is the image that pops into your mind? Is it a face mask? Is it a bubble bath? Is it a tub of La Mer moisturizer? Is it some overpriced green smoothie? Or is it getting into a matching workout set and going to a boutique Pilates class? If you notice, all of the self-care practices that I listed just now are things that cost money, and sometimes a lot of money. It's an image that's been kind of sold to us by brands and companies and influencers. In general, I think the idea of self-care started in a good place where you're supposed to give yourself breaks, take care of yourself so you can function better when you need to get work done. But nowadays, the idea of self-care has really devolved into something that brands just use to sell you more products. We've kind of lost sight of what real self-care looks like. And the cost of living nowadays has become so high. We're all feeling the pressure of how expensive everything is. I feel like this particular video is an extension of the de-influencing trend that we're seeing all over social media right now. I've personally loved seeing the de-influencing trend. It has helped me save so much money this past year. But what I realized is we don't have to give up taking care of ourselves just because we are trying to save some money. And without further ado, let's get into de-influencing some self-care by going over some alternative low cost or free self-care practices. Self-care idea number one is solo picnics. I'm basically telling you to go outside and touch grass. I specifically say solo picnic because I think it's important to have some mindful time by yourself, especially in nature. It can be very healing. If you don't have a picnic blanket, that's no problem. Just grab some bed sheets from your house, go to the grocery store, grab some snacks, and just go to your local park. Bring a book maybe, bring your AirPods, make a little playlist, or just listen to the birds and the animals that are skittering about your local park. And please, 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 while you're doing this solo picnic, don't go on your phone. Nothing makes me happier and feel more rejuvenated than just sitting outside on a gorgeous sunny day, laying on a blanket and literally touching the grass, like running my hands through a fresh patch of grass. I don't really meditate. I've tried to meditate, but I've always just had a really hard time sticking to a meditation practice. But I feel like spending time alone in nature without my phone, maybe reading a book, maybe just sitting there staring at the sky or literally just touching grass, like I said, feels kind of like meditation for me in the way that it makes me more mindful, it makes me calm, it just generally rejuvenates me and puts me in a better headspace. It also feels like kind of a dopamine detox. The reason I think this is a wonderful self-care practice is because the point of self-care is you're supposed to feel more revived, more calm, more rejuvenated after completing said self-care practice. Free self-care practice number two is Pilates or yoga at home. I feel like a lot of people are familiar with the idea of doing yoga at home. You kind of just throw a video on the TV, lay in your living room. Maybe you have a yoga mat. Sometimes, even though I have a yoga mat, I just don't even use it because I have carpet. I'll just do my yoga or my Pilates right on the carpet. So if you don't want to buy a yoga mat, you don't have to. But I think the idea of Pilates at home is a little less popular right now. Pilates is one of those things that really became viral on social media over the past couple of years. And when you see a Pilates class on Instagram or TikTok, you always see those fancy reformer machines. And it kind of convinces you to do Pilates properly. You need to go to some fancy boutique Pilates class. But let me blow your mind if you've never done mat Pilates before. Mat Pilates is 10 million times better than reformer Pilates. It's more effective, it's more challenging, and of course, the whole reason I'm making this video is that it's free. Don't be fooled by these fancy reformer classes. I've been to 2 reformer classes in my life, and I was shocked at how much easier reformer Pilates was. I always thought for some reason, because a reformer looks so complicated, like it looks like a fancy piece of gym equipment, that it would be so much more challenging to do reformer Pilates. And after that realization, I was like, I'm never paying that much money to regularly go to a fancy reformer class. And now I do Pilates at home 2 to 3 times a week. And my favorite instructor to watch on YouTube is Move by Nicole. Oh my goodness, her workouts are so amazing. Now, don't get me wrong, I love the occasional $20 to $30 yoga or Pilates class because it's a nice way to meet other women and just be around people. But on a regular basis, doing Pilates and yoga at home is amazing. I also love doing yoga in the park. If you get over the social anxiety of doing yoga completely by yourself in a public park, it's really nice. Like, and sometimes like yoga classes will happen in parks too, or like a group will get together and do yoga in the park because it's less scary when you're in a group. But yeah, it's so wonderful, especially when it's summertime, being outside, again, touching grass, being in nature. Okay, self-care practice number 3 is reading. If you're not into reading, I feel your pain. I understand. My personal journey with reading when I was really young, like grade school, high school, I would read a lot of young adult fantasy novels. I didn't read Harry Potter, but my favorite series was why am I forgetting the name? Is it The City of Bones? I think The City of Bones is the name of the first book in the series. Okay, it's called the Mortal Instrument series. So that was my shit back in the day. Basically, I would read so obsessively that my parents were legitimately concerned that I had an issue. At first it started out like, oh, we're so happy that she's reading. Reading is a good thing. And then it got to the point where they were like, this girl is staying up until 3 a.m. in the morning, secretly hiding under her bed sheets, reading. Like, she needs to go to sleep. She needs to go out with her friends. She needs to like have a social life. Like, they were legitimately concerned for my well-being because I would just read so much. And from the middle of high school onwards until this point of my life, I have such a hard time reading. I don't know what happened to me. I think it's like the rise of phone use and social media and like scrolling and stuff. Now, finally, I'm 27. I am starting to get back into reading again. And I'm trying to tell myself, like, just read whatever is interesting to you. If you consider yourself as not a reader, I'm telling you, there is a book out there that is gonna be so compelling, you're not gonna wanna put it down. But I feel like part of the reason why some people have a hard time reading is because as adults, we tell ourselves we have to read self-help books or something productive. At least that's been my experience. And I was just depriving myself of super fun and interesting fiction books just because I told myself that I was too old for them. So yeah, my advice is figure out whatever you're interested in. Maybe it's like mystery novels, maybe it's sci-fi, whatever it is, just pick up a book. Just take all of these pressures off of reading. Self-care practice number 4 is doing something crafty and just exercising your creativity. I think a lot of us go through the arc of feeling and being really creative when you're really young, and that trait kind of being trained out of you as you get older. And a lot of adults genuinely think to themselves that they are not creative people, but it's a skill that we just don't work on. I truly, truly believe that everyone is creative and they just need to allow themselves to let it out. For me personally, I am a very creative person in a visual sense. Like, I have made jewelry from a really young age. I sew, I paint, I make furniture. A lot of this stuff can actually be very, very affordable. One of my personal favorite things to do, and I find this really, really relaxing, is to make jewelry. I will buy beads from Michael's, which can get kind of expensive, but they have affordable beads as well. And I will take jewelry hardware from old necklaces or earrings that I don't really like anymore. And that way I'm not spending extra money on getting like jewelry hardware. Like I said, I also do love to sew, but sewing can be really, really stressful. Another thing that I love that I have not done in years, but I used to do a couple of years ago, is coloring books. This is another thing that is not stressful. Like, it doesn't require a whole lot of skill to just like color in a coloring book, but it's so calming and therapeutic, and it still feels like you are exercising a creative part of your brain. I'm trying to put into words why I think practicing creativity is an act of self-care. Not to be dramatic, but it feels to me like you are allowing some part of your soul to come out through whatever artistic, creative medium that you are working in. And that totally feels like an act of self-care to me. Idea number 5 is oiling your hair at home. You can get a huge tub of coconut oil or castor oil at a really affordable price at the grocery store. Especially when you're using this stuff to oil your hair, it will last you forever because you honestly don't need a lot of oil to get the job done. And it's so therapeutic. I usually put on a movie. I will put on my PJs, usually a pretty ratty t-shirt because I'm gonna get oil all over it. I usually sit on my living room floor and and just take my time massaging my scalp. It feels so good. I hold a lot of tension in my face and in my scalp. I like grind my teeth at night quite a lot, so it's so nice to just sit there, and I usually take like 30 minutes to just consistently massage my scalp, and you don't need any other products. Like, I feel like a lot of people on Instagram or like TikTok shop try to sell that like scalp brush, and I do own the scalp brush, and guess what? I barely use it. So doing the scalp massage is not only really therapeutic for all of the muscle tension I have going on, but the oil itself is also obviously very good for the health of your hair. I have found personally that the mix of coconut oil and castor oil has made my hair grow so fast. Look how long my hair is. It's like all the way down my back. It's nearly touching my butt, and people are always shocked because I cut my hair pretty short, like a little over a year ago, and every time people see me, because I've been wearing my hair down quite a bit recently, and every time people see me, they're like, holy shit, like, how did your hair grow so fast? I'm telling you, I'm pretty sure it's the castor oil. The reason I mix it with the coconut oil is to get it to a thinner consistency, because if you just take straight up castor oil and put it in your hair, it is gonna be way too thick, and it's gonna be an absolute bitch to try to wash it out with shampoo. So hair oiling kind of leads me to the next self-care idea. Idea number 6 is having a simple skincare routine. A complicated skincare routine is so unnecessary. In reality, this is the list of all of the types of products that you need in your skincare routine. A cleanser, a makeup removing balm or a micellar water, a moisturizer, and a sunscreen. And beyond what I just listed, maybe you have 1 or 2 extra products in there because you're trying to address a very specific skincare issue. Like maybe you have hyperpigmentation, maybe you have acne, and you have to be on some sort of retinoid to address that specific skincare issue. Basically, I feel like my skin improved when I stopped using products that I was just influenced to buy. And I feel like the health of your skin is much more dependent on your diet and lifestyle. Like, are you getting enough sleep? Are you eating enough fruits and veggies? Are you getting enough vitamin D? Are you avoiding foods that typically make you inflamed? But going back to actual skincare products, I feel like the act of self-care with skincare just comes from sitting down and being intentional, like in the morning or in the evening, just doing your routine with whatever products you have and taking the time to take care of yourself in that way. Self-care idea number 7 is doing a social media detox or unfollowing celebrities and influencers. Social media for a lot of us can be a really negative experience, but it doesn't have to be a negative experience. We can turn it into something much more positive. For me personally, social media has made me feel social FOMO. It has made me feel more inclined to impulsively spend. And this past year, 2024, I took a break from social media probably for a solid 3 to 4 months just because I had a bunch of personal stuff going on, and it did wonders for my mental health. I felt like my mood was so much more stable. I straight up didn't shop. And when I got back on social media, I really noticed how all of a sudden these desires to be like, ooh, that's a pretty dress. Ooh, those are cute shoes. All of a sudden, I'm just scrolling through online shopping websites, which I wasn't before when I was off of social media for those months. And you know, I kind of have to post because I am a content creator. I do get paid for doing stuff on Instagram and YouTube and stuff. So when I do post now, I try to post in ghosts. When I do scroll on social media, I will really limit it. Like, I'll just look at the people that I'm interested in, you know, my friends, my family, and then I'll just get off. Another thing that I did is I unfollowed a crap load of influencers and celebrities because it was just really not good for my mental health. And you know, I'm seeing all these girls with like filters on and like Facetune, and it's making me feel some type of way about my own body image. I do follow a lot of influencers still, but it's only the influencers that truly inspire me. So basically, if the people that you're following are making you feel bad, just unfollow them. This applies to even me. I guess you could technically call me an influencer, even though I don't really love that term. But if my content is making you feel some type of way, feel free to unfollow me. I will totally understand. Tip number 8 is making mocktails at home. I spoke about this briefly on my channel before, but I quit casual drinking about 2 years ago at this point. Now, I still drink on occasion, like on my birthday, on my husband's birthday, just special occasions. I probably drink 3-4 times a year. And this has been such a wonderful change in my life. Like, I am never gonna go back to drinking the way I was before. I think during the pandemic and a little bit after, I had a couple of years where I was drinking heavily. And you know what? It was fun, but it was so unhealthy and it was so detrimental to my physical and mental health. And alcohol is so bad for you in so many ways. And I know some people are gonna make fun of me for using this terminology, but it is so low vibrational. It really is. But you know, I love a cocktail, and the next best thing is a mocktail. Mocktails are totally the vibe now. I have seen a trend of like mocktail recipes online lately, which I love to see. I love to see everyone making healthy decisions, and it's so much cheaper than making a cocktail because it's basically just juices and sparkling water. One of my favorite mocktails to make lately, because it's summertime, is just blending up watermelon, putting some fresh squeezed lemon juice in there, muddling some mint. Oh my God, so good. Another thing I love is like a cucumber mocktail with like, again, lemon or lime juice, cucumber. It's so refreshing with like sparkling water, or anything with lychee juice. Like, I'm such a big fan of lychee flavored anything, so I love a lychee mocktail as well. Now, tip number 8 was gonna be the last tip, but I just thought of another tip that I should probably include in here, and it kind of goes with the overall theme of this video. So, bonus self-care tip, it's to budget. I think the best thing you can do to take care of yourself is to take care of your finances and your financial health. Think about what future you is gonna feel like when they don't have savings for their retirement. On social media, this idea of just treat yourself, you deserve it. Just buy yourself the bag, buy yourself the expensive dinner, buy yourself the trip to Greece. You know, just spend, spend, spend. I'm not saying don't treat yourself. I also love to treat myself occasionally, but a treat is not a treat if you're doing it all the time. Really think about who is the one telling you to just buy the thing. It's usually a brand or an influencer because they're trying to sell you something, they're trying to make money off of you. How is it good for you to buy whatever product and now you don't know how you're gonna pay rent next? Like, that is the opposite of self-care. Self-care is sometimes denying yourself a little treat because you care about growing your savings account and taking care of future you. And I'm not saying to never treat yourself in terms of shopping. What I am saying is work that treat into your budget. Okay, so there you have it. Those are 9 ideas on low cost or completely free self-care practices. Let me know what you guys think of this list. Let me know if you guys have any ideas on self-care that I didn't cover in this video. Let's keep the conversation going down in the comments. And if you made it this far into the video, comment a cash emoji because we are trying to keep our money over on this channel. Give this video a like if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you want to see more. Follow me over on Instagram and TikTok. I post a lot of fashion and lifestyle content. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you next time. Bye, guys.